The Packers are a 2-point conversion away from tying this game. Shotgun snap. Here comes pressure. The throw is incomplete. Knocked away. He went for Adams. Knocked away. Here comes the onside try. It's popped up in the air. The ball is loose, and the Packers have it. So this one will be from 52 yards for what would be a stunning victory. Kick on the way from Crosby, and it's partially blocked. And after all of that, after everything, the clock goes to 0, and the Lions have won at Lambeau.
Detroit got that monkey off their back. They had lost 24 straight on the road against Green Bay. Going into Sunday, 8 Lions players weren't even born the last time the Lions won at the Packers, but that all changed. The Pack lose their 3rd straight. Stephen A., how much is Aaron Rodgers to blame for this 3-game losing streak?
Well, definitely he has a strong level of culpability. I mean, the gloves come off. He's the reigning league MVP. He's a superstar. He's the best. He's the greatest talent at the quarterback position that I've seen in all my years of watching this game. I repeatedly say he's a bad man, but the fact of the matter is that I'm not overly impressed with what I'm seeing from him, and I don't completely blame him. But at some point in time when you're that great playing that position, you have to be able to stop the bleeding. It's one thing to lose back-to-back games to Super Bowl championship contenders in Denver and Carolina. It's another thing entirely to lose to the hapless Detroit Lions. He connects with Perillo for an 11-yard touchdown pass to bring them within 2 points. Can't convert the 2-point conversion. He felt some pressure and obviously threw the ball a little bit too early. But at the same time, Detroit was able to get a hand in the mix, and obviously Cobb and those boys couldn't pull the ball in. In the end, what it comes down to is this, however. You threw the ball 61 times. You completed 35 of your passes. You did not throw an interception, but your offense was still relatively anemic, which is why you ended up only scoring 16 points on the afternoon. I was disgusted with Mason Crosby because what kind of a field goal kick was that when you're in position to win a game? I mean, that's just pathetic, to be quite honest with you. If I remember correctly, Skip, I'm watching the game. I didn't see it blocked. If it was blocked, I certainly couldn't tell. I saw Randall Cobb drop a pass. I saw Jones drop a pass. I didn't see Devontae Adams capable of getting open. Apparently some stat that, the NFL Countdown crew put together, Skip, talking about the NFL Scouting Combine combined with Pro Day. Those 2 stats that were accumulated indicates that the trio of Adams, Jones, and Cobb are the slowest receivers in the NFL. So Aaron Rodgers clearly has to work with that, which explains why it appeared all evening long the receivers were incapable of gaining any kind of separation. But in the end, you're Aaron Rodgers, and you have to figure it out. Enough to prevent a 3-game losing streak. I know your special teams gave up the 104-yard return to Amir Abdullah on the kickoff. I know that obviously the defense coming into the game is giving up an average of 375 yards over the last 2 games in the air alone. I get all of that, but you're Aaron Rodgers. And you have to figure out a way. You have to find a way. And that's why I think it's apropos that they're going up against Minnesota on the road next week with the division lead on the line, because I want to see what Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers do to respond to this challenge. I know that he's not working with much, but I still expect to see better from him. And I'm not seeing it right now. And right now, he doesn't deserve to be mentioned in the same breath as Tom Brady.
Thank you very much for saying that. I got to tell you, yesterday it hit home like tons of bricks to me, Stephen A. Smith, that Aaron Rodgers is not what he used to be. I'm going to state this again just so I drive home the point to everyone who's watching. Aaron Rodgers threw 61 passes yesterday, a career high. 61 times the ball was placed and the game was placed in his hands. And he lost at home to the 1-7 Detroit Lions. The first time the Lions, as Molly pointed out, have won at Lambeau Field since 1991. Just keep that in perspective. It has come to this for that Aaron Rodgers. That's really stunning to me, because obviously we kid back and forth. I have respect for Aaron. I have enough respect that I'm stupefied over this. I find it almost inexplicable that the same Aaron Rodgers, who did often used to be a bad man, is this bad, this consistently bad? He threw some good balls yesterday. He threw some quick, sharp darts. And he threw a bunch of wildly erratic, wildly off-target balls that are so not Aaron Rodgers. All of a sudden, Lambeau Field has become Mr. Rodgers' neighborhood. I never thought I could get away with saying that, but it's true. Mr. Rodgers' neighborhood in Green Bay, Wisconsin. You're kidding me. And Stephen A., you look at the last 2 weeks, he has had late plays that could win or get them in position to win the game. Obviously going for the touchdown at Carolina. And he readily admitted that Aaron Rodgers, I saw something as in a pass rusher, and I got scared. And he did not see Cobb come quickly open. He missed him. He didn't even see him. And then yesterday, as you point out, a blitzer did come free. But the old Aaron Rodgers would have escaped stage right or stage left. He would have bolted the pocket, a la any of the scrambling quarterbacks, Russell Wilson, Johnny Manziel, whoever you want to throw in there. Aaron Rodgers had that kind of quickness. He has that kind of quickness. But right now, he's lost his poise, his confidence, and in some cases, flat out nerve. He just doesn't have the nerve he used to have in the pocket. He's not sure anymore. And again, is his offensive line any worse than Tom Brady's? No, it's not. So there's got to come a point where Aaron gets comfortable with his lack of protection, gets rid of the ball quicker, stays focused on what's happening downfield instead of what's coming into his face. And even on that late play, he sees the blitzer come free. Oh, my God, I got to just lay it up for grabs, basically. And he targeted Davante Adams 21 times yesterday.
Yep.
And he caught only 10 of them. Well, again, that's not good enough. And I get you, not enough foot speed. You know, I've thrown this out half jokingly before. I don't know, maybe Jordy Nelson did help make Aaron Rodgers because he sorely misses him. For a while, he did not miss James Jones because for a while, through like 4 or 5 games, James Jones was leading the NFL in touchdown receptions. All of a sudden, he is MIA. They cannot get the ball to James Jones, maybe because defenses are saying, we're not going to let you get the ball to James Jones anymore. So all of a sudden, Cobb, Davante, James Jones, apparently Richard Rodgers, it's just not enough for Aaron Rodgers.
Well, you're explaining it accurately because here's the bottom line, Skip. If you don't have a Jordy Nelson, then you don't have to worry about the deep threat. So, you know, he facilitated other people being able to get open. These guys clearly can't get open. Davante Adams is targeted 21 times. He only catches 10 receptions. I mean, 10 receptions is decent if you're targeted 11 or 12 times. But when you're targeted 21 times and you only catch 10 passes, something's wrong with that picture. And then it explains also because of what you're highlighting, the lack of production in James Starks filling in for the injured Eddie Lacy. With a guy like Jones, with a guy like Cobb, with Davante Adams, struggling to get open, and you got to give the ball to some dude named Perillo, okay? The reality is that it explains the hesitancy with which we're seeing from Aaron Rodgers. Holding on the ball just a little bit too long, sometimes getting rid of the ball just a little bit too quickly, because whether it's timing issues or overall trust issues, the fact is something is missing from him with his receiving corps, and the running game ain't helping anything because they're little to no threat. In the end, however, you're Aaron Rodgers. It's incumbent upon you to figure it out, and you haven't yet. And if it's one thing to lose to Denver and Carolina, but if you're going to lose to Detroit too, why the hell should we believe you're going to beat Minnesota, particularly in Minnesota?
I agree.
And by the way, I'm waiting to see whether or not this guy Bennett or whomever he is going to continue to call plays, or is Mike McCarthy going to now take over play calling duty like he had last year? Remember, he gave it up, fired the special teams guy. Special teams have been playing better this year until they gave up that 104-yard kickoff return to Amir Abdullah. So we might see some changes coming in Green Bay. We're not sure yet what they're going to be, but in light of the fact that McCarthy is getting such little production from the offense, I definitely think that is the order of the day. Defensively, what can you do? Don Capers is back there coaching the defense. You still got Clay Matthews and those boys in the lineup. Outside of injuries, guys getting better, I don't know what more you can do if you're Green Bay defensively.
I agree.
But there's a hell of a lot more you can do offensively. I can tell you that much.
I am with you. I think it's time for Mike McCarthy to re-seize control of calling the plays. I think Aaron Rodgers would appreciate that.
Maybe
Might give
so.
him a little more confidence.
Maybe so.
That's not going to happen quite yet because he said after the game McCarthy will keep play calling responsibilities. The Minnesota Vikings now move into first place in the NFC North. How about we stay in the NFC, but take a look at the NFC least. The only team to win this weekend was the Redskins, but the Giants still hold a slim division lead. Who comes out on top? We'll tell you that after the break. Sweet life of mine.